Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about the area of a sector. Now, while this looks like basically the area of part of a circle, and it goes with circles, we figured more because of the area part, we would throw it in here with our other area lessons. So we talked about yesterday and before, right, the entire area of a circle being apple pies R2. But as you can tell, we're not looking for the area of a circle here. We only want what's called a sector, which is basically a piece of the circle. So a sector, as we just said, is a piece of a circle bounded by a central angle and its intercepted arc. Right, as you can see, you can think of the sector like a piece of pizza, piece of pie, whatever you want to say. I'll go slice of pizza here. And the formula that we have for the area of a sector, notice we have x is going to represent the degree measure of an arc and r represents the radius. It's x over 360 times a. And some of you might recognize that this is familiar to if we were looking for the arc length. It was pretty much the same exact setup. Instead of a, though, it was c, which stood for circumference because we were talking about the outer part of the circle. Here we're referring to the inner part, therefore we want to use the area. Area covers the inside, circumference covers the outside of a circle. So x represents the degree of the arc that we're using, and then a represents the entire area of the circle. So in number one, BC is 16. Well, that's important because that's the radius, and we know in the area formula, right, we need to know what the radius is. And they give us, we can see the shaded area there. The 51 degrees is within the shaded area. That's what we're looking for our x. So it's going to be 51 over 360 times the area of the circle, which in this case would be pi 16 squared. So I would recommend doing that first. 16 squared is 256. So maybe you just kind of want to note that this is 256 pi. And then I would plug it all at once in your calculator. So if you have your calculator ready, I'll tell you exactly how to plug it in. So I'd start with an open parenthesis, 51 divided by 360, close parenthesis, 256, then hit the pi button and hit enter. And hopefully you end up with an answer of 113.9. And this is going to be feet squared. Again, since we're still talking about area, we want to make sure that we square it. All right, we're not going to do all these problems. We're going to go now underneath number 3. All right, so number 3, JK is 3. We see that the shaded area, the degree is 84. So this is going to be 84 over 360 times the area of the whole circle, which would be pi 3 squared. So 3 squared is 9. Again, we could clean that up and say that that's 9 pi. So here we go, all in once in your calculator, open parenthesis, 84 divided by 360, close parenthesis, hit 9, and then the pi button, and we get an answer of 6.6 millimeters squared. All right, if you don't have a calculator that has a pi button, you can use 3.14, and even if you are close, maybe you got 6.5 instead of 6.6, that's okay. Don't worry about it. All right, number 4. So GH is 13. This time, notice the 126 is not the shaded area. Well, we got to start by finding the shaded degree measure as opposed to the unshaded degree. Some of you may already know, otherwise maybe you're thinking, you get those juices flowing. We want to do 360 minus 126. So if we do 360 minus 126, we get 234. And that's the degree measure that we want to use. Again, because that's now covering the shaded area. The 126 is the unshaded area. And we don't want that. We want the shaded. So 234 over 360 times, this would be pi 13 squared. 13 squared is 169. All right, 169 pi, so 234 divided by 360. And then we have 169 pi. And we get 345.1. This would be yards squared. All right, last one on this page, number 5. Once again, notice that we have the unshaded portion, the 42 degrees. We want the shaded. So 360 minus 42. That gives us 318. So 318 over 360 times YZ is 9. So pi 9 squared. That would be 81 pi. 318 divided by 360 times 81 pi gives us 224.8 inches squared. All right, so that's everything on the front page. We're going to go on to the back now, page 7. And we're going to jump right down to number 11. Find the total area of the shaded region. So that tells us that HG is 7. All right, so right there, 7. Good, that's the radius. Perfect, that's exactly what we need here. So we have 46, and 46 is going to cover this shaded region. Well, this is also 46. Hopefully you notice that those are vertical angles. So if the bottom is 46, so is the top. So if we do 46 times 2, which is going to give us 92, that is going to be our total degree measure. So 92 over 360 times the area of the circle, which would be pi 7 squared, which is really 49 pi. Okay, so 92 divided by 360 times 49 pi gives us 39 point. Notice the direction said around to the 100th, so 39.34 centimeters squared. All right, let's try number 13. So notice with 13, they give us part of the unshaded, so we got to get into the shaded. A couple different ways that you could go about doing this. I would probably do this. I'd say, all right, if that's 143, then this is also 143. So far, I've used up 286 degrees. That means the remaining are the shaded, and both are what I want. So if I just do 360 minus 286 and get 74, I know that that's the angle. That's the degree that I want to use. So 74 over 360 times, they tell us that EB, perfect, EB is 10.4. That's the radius right here. So times pi 10.4 squared. 10.4 squared is 108.16 pi. All right, 74 divided by 360 times 108.16 pi gives me 69.85 inches squared. Okay, and the last problem for today, number 15. So they give us the 58 degrees, which is great. Then we also need this whole side over here. Some of you are probably looking at that. You're looking at that. You're like, what could the area be? Well, it looks like it's half the circle, which would make that a total of 180 degrees. So if I take 180 plus 58, that gives me 238. So I want 238 over 360 times pi. I'm looking for the radius. Interesting. JM. This time is the first problem. We don't have the radius, but the diameter. So we got to make sure that we divide by 2 so that we can get a radius of 5. So this would be 5 squared, which would turn into 25 pi. So 238 divided by 360 times 25 pi gives us 51.92 millimeters squared. Okay, and that's our lesson for today. Area of a sector. Your homework or assignment is the remainder of page 7. So we're looking at number 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're going to go right down the right side here. 12, 14, and 16. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You guys have been doing such an awesome job. Keep it going. I'm probably going to say that over and over again. That is because you guys do truly do an awesome job. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.